All right, next is going to be your multiplying integers notes. Find your sheet with your notes. First thing we're going to go through is multiplying integer rules. Anytime you have two positive numbers and you multiply them together, you end up with a positive answer. Anytime you have a positive times a negative, you end up with a negative answer. Anytime you have a negative number first and a positive number second that you're multiplying together, you still get a negative answer. Anytime you have a negative times a negative, you always get a positive answer. All right, your next page. All right, we have some problems. Up here we have 3 times 2, which is the regular multiplying. 3 times 2, you end up with 6. Down here we have your positive counters as a visual. Every time you have counters, the positive ones should be yellow and the negative ones should be red. Also down here on a number line, if you're multiplying 2 times 3 and you use the skip counting pattern, 2, 4, 6, you end up with the answer 6. Moving on to the next box, we have -3 times 2. And if you look back at your rules for multiplying integers, -3 times 2 still equals 6, but if it's multiplied by with a negative number, your answer is going to be negative. So your answer is -6. The next box, we have 3 times -2. So the second number is negative instead of the first number. 3 times 2 equals 6, and because you have at least one negative number in the multiplication problem, your answer is going to be -6. All right, over here we have -3 times -2. When you have two negative numbers and you multiply them together, you end up with a positive answer, which is 6. All right, down at the bottom of your paper, you have some practice problems. I would like you to try some of the practice problems on your own and then check the answers with the video after. So pause the video now, and then when you're done, check your problems after. Or you can ask me or Miss Candy to go through some of them with you. After all your notes are done, please cut your notes out and glue them into your notebook on the next clean page. After your notes are complete, you have a worksheet that you need to complete and will go into the grade book. You have two sides. There's an A-level side, which you can see on the screen, and then there's a B-level side on the back. A-level side is easier and B-level side is a little more challenging. If you want, you can pick either A side or the B level side. If you want to, you can do a portion, so like a half of the A level. And if it seems really easy, you can turn over to the B level and do half of the B level. Right now, you can pause the video and complete this worksheet. When you're done, you can start the video again. All right, today's lesson, November 8th, 2016. Multiplying integers and completing 2 to 3 Compass learning activities. After your warm-up, today you're going to be looking at Compass learning. All right, warm-up. So we have 6.5 times 2, and we have -7 times -7. Then we have 3 times -2 times -5 times -3. Pause the video and complete your warm-up in the back of your notebook. When you're done, please push play. All right, now I'm going to walk you through how you got your answers in your warm-up. So first we have 6.5 times 2. You want to look at it as 65 times 2. When you multiply 65 times 2, you end up getting 130. Then you take your decimal and you put it back into the problem. This is 1 decimal place. You put in your answer 1 decimal place, and your answer ends up being 13.0, or just regular 13. Number 2, -7 times -7. And 7 times 7 is 49, and if you're multiplying two negative numbers together, if you follow the rule, you end up with a positive answer. Number 3, we have -2 times -5 times -3. If you want to break it up first, so we're going to take our first two integers. -2 times -5 equals a positive 10. So we have positive 10 times our leftover number. So we have 10 times -3. So we have 10 times -3. 10 times 3 is 30, and we are multiplying by a negative number, and we end up getting -30. All right, let's review. Reviewing the rules. So a positive times a positive number equals a positive number. Positive times a negative equals a negative number. A negative times a positive also equals a negative number. And anytime you have two negatives times a negative equals a positive number. Now it's time for you to complete Compass Learning. You must complete 3 to 4 activities each week on Compass Learning. This will be a grade. So you must complete 3 to 4 activities. Must. Now you can log off the video and start Compass Learning.